part two. This is the other part of ideal clients. And there's a really great song from 1960, which I was only 1 year old then, so this is not something I listened to as a teenager. Neil Sedaka wrote a song called Breaking Up is Hard to Do. And man, it's one of the hardest things that I experience in practice. Especially when you're working on creating relationships, discontinuing those relationships is difficult. Letting go of patients who aren't a good fit, it's a necessary evil. You got to get good at it. And discharging patients who don't align with your practice is hard. But when you do that, it opens the door for the people who really can come in, and you're not tired out and burned out. I know what you're thinking. What about the duty to the patient? Well, a doctor-patient relationship is so critical to good care that you have a duty to discontinue it if it's not working. I mean, that's your duty. You should know that if you can't really get with this patient and they can't work with you because of compliance issues or attitude or just your skill set, if you're just not good at it, or if there's just not a good click, that's your duty to get that moved on and get them to somebody who can work with them. So first, just to give you some context, discharging a patient isn't casting them into outer darkness with wailing and gnashing of teeth. It's about recognizing that every relationship isn't meant to last. I mean, that's just not how it works. It's like you're in a relationship with somebody long distance and neither of you likes to get on a plane. It's just not going to work. There's just certain things that don't work. It doesn't need to be a disaster or, just a horrible situation. So here's a few signs that it might be time to consider parting ways with a patient. This is somebody who is not your ICP. They're not your ideal client or ideal patient. When the patient lacks engagement, so if you get a lot of no-shows, they miss appointments, or when you come back, they come back and you say, hey, how's that working that we talked about, your treatment with doing those stretches or that medicine, or they say, well, you just haven't really been able to get to it yet. Well, that's a sign they're not really fully invested. And that's okay. You can coach them through it, maybe help, because not everybody's ready for a commitment. But I have a patient, and this is really probably a helpful story, hopefully. She was diagnosed with diabetes. And we talked about, you're going to need to shift your diet, do some different things. And I'm pretty relaxed about dietary control. I'm not saying don't ever eat sugar, don't ever. But I say cake, cookies, pasta, bread, these things, you want to limit them. And she said, her response to me was, don't you tell me I can't continue to eat sandwiches. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just trying to help you to go down this path. And clearly that could have been an opportunity to discharge her or break up the relationship. But coaching did work with her, and she was willing to change her mind, and she's done great. And with peptides and all that, she's doing really well. Okay, the patient with negative attitude. If they kind of always come in like Eeyore, it drains your energy, so badly. And you want to work with patients who are open and at least somewhat hopeful that you can help them, not those who bring the rain cloud into the office. And this in our office, this is really easy to identify because we look at the schedule in the morning and do morning report, and there's that, oh gosh, that patient that just everybody's like, oh no. They're patients that really, that the conversation is important to have with them. Say, do you really want to be here? Is this really working for you? So 3, mismatch of values. If you find your approach to care is in direct conflict with the patient's beliefs or values, like they don't think that it's really good to take medicine. I won't take medicine. I'll only do nutritional care. It's like, well, I'm an integrative practitioner, so I believe in doing exercise and nutrition and medication when they need it, and the full spectrum of care, including oncology and everything else. We do the whole thing. And we're willing to work with patients in all different spectrums of that. But if the patient's like, I won't and I can't, I'm like, well, it's probably not going to be a good fit. So it's kind of like being a steak and potatoes guys, like a vegan joint. It's like, it's not going to work. It doesn't fit, right? You can't do it. They're not going to be able to do the work that I need them to do in order to get the results that I'm experienced with. I know how to get results. But if they're not going to be able to do it, then it's good. It's good to, within that first visit or two, to be able to, this isn't a really good fit. Let's see something else. So how do you do it? Well, professionalism and kindness. So direct but compassionate. When you talk to the patient, be really clear about your decision before you go into it. And then express your understanding and say, I think you would benefit from a different approach. I have many patients who believe that they're doing well enough, they don't need to have lab work, or they don't need to take this course of action, or and I can say to them very directly, I say, you know what? If you're not able to do that, I think it would probably be better to see somebody else, because I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like you're safe, or that I'm doing a good job for you if you can't follow this simple protocol. So just direct and compassionate. Offer alternatives. So we have lots of good doctors around us. I have lots of people who I work with, other primary care physicians and health-oriented people who are great. Some are more serious than me. They're just more, more traditional in their demeanor. And there's people who are way more alternative. I would even say kind of wacky. And some patients like that. So I'm able to provide referrals to other practitioners who might be a better fit. That really goes a long way compared to, this isn't working, sorry, and I hate this. We wish you well. Oh, that's not nearly as good as, let me see if I can help you get plugged in with somebody who would probably fit better with you. It shows that you care. And it winds up with a situation where they don't feel like they're just abandoned. And for me, because I'm just this way, keep it light. It just doesn't have to be heavy. It's like that Neil Sedaka song, breaking up is hard to do. But I think if you can just say something like, we're like oil and water. Both are good, but when you put them together, it's not a great mix. They don't mix. Just keep it light. It doesn't have to be horrible. Parting ways doesn't have to be a negative experience. It can be an opportunity for both you and the patient to find a better fit in the journey. And discharging patients who don't align with your practice opens the door for those who do fit with your practice. And it makes a huge difference. Your staff's happier, your days are better. You might get to leave early once in a while because you don't, have a totally busy day every day, but you don't want patients that don't fit. So to put it all together, if you want your practice to thrive and your compensation to reflect your expertise, you got to take the time to define your ideal patient profile, ICP. This strategic focus will transform your practice from a job, like the urgent care, into a really rewarding journey. The connections you build last a whole lifetime, and they lead to a really good patient base, and it grows and grows and grows to the point where you can actually start to say, I need to limit the number of patients I'm seeing because I have too much. So thanks for joining me today on the Cash Practice Solution Podcast. Don't forget to check out our Cash Practice Scorecard at cashpracticesolution.com. It'll help you guide your decisions and really do a really, really good job of making that transition. If you found this episode to be helpful and hopeful, please share it with your colleagues who could benefit from it. Until next time, remember the keys to your success. Apply to the ideal patient too. Listen to your patients. Learn their stories and love them with your whole heart. And it's true, you will be unstoppable.
Thanks for joining us. And if you have enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes packed with insights to help your cash-based practice thrive. And don't forget to check out all the tools and resources available at cashpracticesolution.com. They're free to you, and we're always adding more. Keep raising the bar in patient care. We'll reconnect in the next episode with more ways to help you succeed.